Okay, this is going to be one of those Andy movies, but it's still going to be good. At number 72 on the list, The Visitor. Welcome to Long Play Video. Welcome into Long Play Video. It's a Monday night, quite a quiet day in the shop. So I think it's time again to go back to the 100 films of all time. Obviously, we're very busy in between recording all of these.
Yeah,
One off our feet. But yeah, this is kind of a Monday night kind of a film. So at number 72 on the list, it's called The Visitor from 2007. Do you know anything about this film at all?
I don't know anything about this film, and I was thinking about this today, trying to think, what do I think this film would be? And as it's called The Visitor, I'm thinking it's either about aliens, I'm thinking they're visiting, or in my mind, I'm thinking, I know this can't be true, or it's like a horror, where it's like, welcome to the visitor. So that's what I'm thinking. Knowing you as I know you, I imagine it's going to be neither of those.
Well, let me pass you over the DVD, and I think we can you can probably take it from that.
Yeah. Okay. Will it be? It's going to be super obvious. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, this is definitely this is more of an Andy film. This is This is what it's made.
I would say the hue of yellow is on the DVD cover is probably a very Andy color for films. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this color. I'm really not. Possibly not sure about this film based on this cover. Yeah, wow. Okay. I mean, I think I would, based on this DVD cover, I'm going to give this about, I reckon, 3.5 to 4 Andys. This film.
Yeah. You mean a really good film that's little known and very enjoyable.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Yeah. So okay, let's walk through this then. So the majority of the front of the DVD is it looks like I guess a train in the US speeding past quickly. It's just blurred in the background, and then just an old guy in a suit playing. I guess no, it's not bongos. What is it? Just like a drum?
Yeah, just a drum.
Yeah. Just looking randomly at the floor. From the director of the Station Agent, never heard of it before, and from the producers of Sideways, which I have seen that. A heartfelt human drama that sneaks up and floors you. Oscars take notes, and that's from the infamous Peter Travers of the Rolling Stones, as we all know.
Just Rolling Stone, the magazine.
Oh, it's just Rolling Stone. Yeah.
It's the magazine rather than the group.
The actual Rolling Stones, yeah. Well, it could be. I mean, judging by this film, anyone could have reviewed. And then one of the taglines on the back is one of the best reviewed films of the year. Does that just mean a lot of people have reviewed this? I mean, what does that mean?
Having reviewed in that sentence does spoil it a little bit.
There's a lot. You know what worries me about this film? I mean, there's many things, but there's a lot of quotes and things on the back, and this did well at this really random film festival that no one knows or cares about, which makes me think
Toronto and Sundance are like the two biggest film festivals.
No one knows what they are. Yeah. But why do you need to whack this all over the DVD? This terrible sort of. I mean, it looks a bit like We Covered Yellow, to be honest. So there's just loads of different people on the front cover in little scenes. There's this main old guy playing the drums, and then in the back, there's more just couples with a guy playing drums. This definitely looks like a film I'm not going to enjoy. So this is good.
because you're dead inside, or because...
It does say you can't help but be uplifted. Well, we'll find out, won't we? Hailed as one of the year's most intriguing dramas, The Visitor stars Richard Jenkins in a perfect performance. That's in quotation marks, so that's up for debate. as Walter, a dissatisfied college professor who has been drifting aimlessly through his life. When in a chance encounter on a trip into New York, Walter discovers a couple have taken up residence in his apartment in the city. He develops an unexpected and profound connection to them that will change his life forever. As challenges arise for his tenants, Walter finds himself compelled to find his new friends and rediscovers a passion he thought he had long lost. I guess this is to do with the drubbing. And then written and directed by
we know how much you enjoyed the sound of drumming as well. So.
yeah, exactly. I mean, for the infamous Whiplash. I mean, yeah, this I immediately want to know how long this film is. That's my first question. How long is this, Andy? 104 minutes.
Hour and 44, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's not too bad. I mean, 2.5 hours of Empire of the Sun was if this had been 2.5 hours, I might have had to phone in sick.
back to back long heartfelt dramas, not up you. Glad that it's good that you work here and you have to keep coming back. So you don't have
yeah, exactly. Everyone thinks it's just sunshine and rainbows at the video store. It's not. It's tough going. I have to work my way through all these films. So all right there. Well, you obviously enjoy this film. So what's it? Why is it on your list? What's pulled it into the top 100?
Yeah, so I watched this. I watched it for the first time on DVD. So I think it was maybe like 2009, 2010. I think I was working at IMDb, and I think it was one that I saw there and had a chat with a few people who know a thing or two about films, and they all agreed that they really liked it as well.
Are we naming names here?
No, I'm not. Okay. I'm not dropping names. I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay. I just wondered if it's the infamous one that I know that we're going to try and get on the podcast or not.
maybe. Yeah. But,
okay.
But
right.
Yeah, so I just kind of this is an Andy film, which I was hoping to like reclaim and to be a positive thing rather than a negative thing.
You're on your own with that one. There's no one else who's going to be joining you. I can't wait for your brother to come on and really get stuck into the Andy scale.
Coming soon in episodes in the future. So no, this is the type of film that I like. So it's about sort of a central character who goes on a journey, who has change, either forced upon them or kind of has to decide to change or not, but also then has like a sort of a wider sort of social kind of questions and kind of opinions on kind of wider social aspects. So this is why I like it. It's a really good, just sort of quieter, sort of slightly slower film, but it's a kind of almost like a study of a life, and is sort of zoomed in a lot of ways just on sort of one character and kind of following their journey through it all, but in a really good way. And I think there's quite a few films in the list that are like this, because I just think this is really good. And again, it's the type of film that you would have discovered on DVD and picked up, and then for me would have been like, oh yeah, this is a really good film, and like this is I really enjoyed this film, and then sort of recommended it to other people who would watch it and would enjoy it as well. And because I do think that you don't get that as much now in streaming and stuff, even though arguably it's easier to do now on streaming and to have those types of things. But for whatever reason, I just don't think it's as wide, that where you just kind of discover almost a hidden gem, right?
You've got the algorithm, haven't you? That's the unfortunate thing. It's a blessing and a curse in that sometimes you can go, oh, this is great. It's just sending me all the new things that I didn't know about that's in the same genre that I like. But then you get to a point as humans where you're like, actually, I kind of want to watch something a bit different. and then the algorithm's still sending you stuff that you normally watch, and so then you're trying, like you said, you'd almost in a video store, you just always browse around, wouldn't you? You'd be like picking things up, going, "Oh, that actually looks interesting." I mean,
Yeah.
not this one, obviously, but other films.
Well, and it's funny that you should mention My Brother. So it's one of our 50 films in 2021. We kind of selected 5 films each that we had seen, but the other person hadn't seen. And this was one of the films that I gave to him. He gave it an 8.2.
I honestly thought for a minute there you were I was like, is he going to say that his brother gave him this film? Because I'm like, there's no way I'm believing that. There's no way.
He found an Andy film and gave it to him. No, he gave it an 8.2, which out of 10.
Well,
so that's
I'll be having words with him after when he comes on.
No, maybe you'll love it. His review, which they're considering for the re-release for the DVD cover. Good film. Enjoyed it. Opens eyes to some struggles and always like a good soundtrack. Wow. There we go.
I mean, has he thought about becoming like an author or something? I mean, what a way with words. Let's make sure we bring that back up when he's on.
I mean, compared to some of the quotes on the film, on the DVD cover, I feel like it's actually just as good and just as valid. Yeah. So
8.2. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so, my problem is I've watched too many of these Andy films recently, and I feel like I'm on the back foot. I'm preparing myself for this.
I feel like it's been a while since there's been an Andy film. You can't. Empire of the Sun. I don't know. Empire of the Sun isn't an Andy film. It's a Steven Spielberg film. Like it's clearly a Spielberg.
But it is a Spielberg. It is a Spielberg film, yeah. But only Andy would pick that out of all the Spielberg films that he has. You could have even picked Catch Me As You Can with Tom in, and I'd enjoyed that more.
Given it a go. I would say out of the 5 films that sit in your bad section of your table, 3 of them are definitely Andy films, but we won't go into that. We won't. The past does not dictate the future. So lead performance by Richard Jenkins. Do you have a look at him? Do you know him? Where do you know him from? Because he's in tons and tons of stuff.
Is he the guy? Is he the granddad in Modern Family?
No,
or have I not? I can't quite see him on the case properly. It might be this like yellowish hue that I can't quite make him out from. So see, it says on the back he's in 6 Feet Under. I've not seen that.
No,
what else is he in?
I mean, he's in tons of stuff. The Shape of Water.
No, I've not seen that. These are all Andy films.
Step Brothers, funnily enough.
So yeah. He's the dad.
He's the dad. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I do know who he is.
Yeah. So one of those Crazy Stupid Love. No, not Crazy Stupid Love. Eat, Pray, Love. That's a rom-com. I would have thought that would be banging to you.
I bet my rom-coms are mainly focused around the 80s. I think outside of that, I'm not really a rom-com person. Nice. I mean, I'm not a rom-com person, but I just don't. I don't know. Eat, Pray, Love. I haven't seen it. I don't think I would see.
This is not a rom-com as well. Just to put it out there. And then written and directed by Tom McCarthy, who did did Spotlight. So won an Oscar for Spotlight.
Yeah. Okay. Spotlight's a very good film. Yeah.
And Win Win. Do you know that film? Paul Giamatti is like a high school wrestling coach. Funnily enough, that's another Andy movie that almost made the list. I do really like that film. Wow. That's another hidden gem.
Cool.
Paul Giamatti is really good in that.
So if this looks like the same. We were talking about this on Whiplash. There was another film that came out at the same time. Is this film Win Win? Or was that something else? Something else, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was something else.
Was that The Wrestler?
Yeah. Wrestling and drumming just at the same time. These are the themes.
Oh. Well, I'm intrigued to see. I mean, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not oversold on this, but I mean, this guy isn't really. I wouldn't say he's a main actor. So it's going to be interesting to see how he performs in the main role.
So nominated for an Oscar for
Yeah.
it, to be fair.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but as we said in previous episodes, the Oscars are pointless. You know, we're men of the people. We know that the real films never win the Oscars.
Never do well at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Oppenheimer is just a small indie film.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so but this is this is a Monday night, like, yeah, it's not a big film, but it's a really good character study. It's got some really good
Yeah.
characters in. All of the performances are very natural and are very good. There were no car
Yeah.
chases, there were no explosions, but it's just a really good, like, I think it is uplifting, but it's also just like a really good, like, true to life story. And it's a good script, it's a good story, and sort of good performances. So this is, for me, this is not just an Andy film, but like, this is what films should be about. Good script, well shot, good acting performances, with a message that is both like personal to the main character, but also then like, it does have a little bit of social context and kind of big themes. So
okay. I mean, there's a few. I've got a few questions for you.
Okay.
First off, have you got anything against other instruments, or do you just love the drums?
It's just drumming. I watched a flute film once. It's rubbish.
Nothing. Yeah, not even Anchorman did make it in, right? Flute, or it could have been. There's something about Mary that's got a saxophone in, I think, or no, trumpet. So many good films.
There's lots of sax in all of the 80s films, but not so much playing.
Some great ones there. Yeah. Okay. And so you said, that you like this because of all those things. I'm interested. I'm going to be interested to see what this is like. I'm not sure that I'm going to like this. Are you going to watch it with the commentary on so that you can listen to the director and the main actor while you watch it?
I will watch it. It's actually been a little while since I've seen it, funnily enough. But this is the type of film that I would watch with the director commentary on. You're right. And I do own it on DVD, obviously, because I own a DVD shop or work at a DVD shop. I don't think that we own it.
The bank owns the DVD shop still.
If we do fault, they're just going to have a bunch of DVDs, so they never come to claim.
Well, we'll leave them the empty cases. We'll take all the DVDs. They'll never know.
It'll be a bailout of DVDs.
All right.
So, but I will watch it because I'm looking forward to watching it. It is just a really good film. It is just a really, really good film. Very, very character driven.
Yeah. And do you think that my other question was going to be, is this art imitating Andy's life? Is there a point where you feel like, oh, this main character, this could be me, or this is me?
No. I don't identify with the main character.
Yeah,
right. but I think
I have in advance.
But I think I've known people like the main character, and I think the main character, is the kind of character from quite a lot of good stories. So yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't want to say I'm looking forward to this one because I'm not.
When you've done that in the past, go in low expectations. This is, as you say, like four Andys on the list of Andys. You have to come back after watching it. We'll see. We'll see in the stats how many people come back on the podcast.
If anyone else, I might have to put in like something in the description to say like, bypass this episode. Don't listen to this one. Move on.
This is one of those ones that is like a hidden gem. This is a film where I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised that it is something that someone would recommend to you back in the day, and you'd be like, I watched that. That was good. That was.
I should work out the percentages. Actually, I'll do that for after this of how many of these new films that you've given me the experience of that actually fit into my good section. I could work out How many? Because there are some like Life is Beautiful, Whiplash, and Kubo.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed those, and they're in my top 5.
Yeah.
So
Three out of your top 5. Also,
yeah,
I'm not sure
yeah,
whether
that's
I
true.
can take Life is Beautiful as an Andy film, but
No, I wouldn't say it's an Andy film, no. But there are many other ones on there that I haven't seen that are in the good section. So we'll get the stats and come back. But
yeah, I mean, maybe that's a reflection of you rather than me.
Wow, look at that. I mean, we've changed time zones. It's now in the morning, and look at the sass. It's all coming through.
I'm coming out swinging.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's going to be an interesting prediction as well. But yeah, you can go down to the back room and put it on the projector, and we'll see you after the break.
Yeah. Okay.
So Steve goes over to set up the movie. Funnily enough, there's a 3-star review that I think will definitely be very similar to what he thinks if it wasn't even written by him in the past somewhere through time travel. But yeah, poignant but slow. Yeah, I think this is going to be a bit slow for his taste. But we'll see. I still like it. I think it's good. So we'll see just whether or not he can make it through.
Not good. I think I rewrote that sentence a few times. So
was the first time good, and then
no, it really wasn't. It was a lot worse. Yeah, didn't enjoy this at all. Yeah, it was not my type of film. I felt a little bit annoyed by it at times because I felt like it won the award because of the topic it was trying to deal with, but I didn't feel like it dealt with that topic very well. And so I was like, this is annoying because people are going to say this is a great film because it talks about these topics. But I think, personally, I didn't think it dealt with them very well.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it at all. I really didn't. It was, yeah, well, I mean, we'll get to it to see where it's on my list, but yeah.
Oh, it could be a challenger for once, could it? Right at the bottom.
I mean, that film is, I don't even know if you call that a film, but yeah, it could. So yeah, I'm saying, well, you rewatched it. How did you enjoy it on the rewatch?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, no, I still really like it. I get it. It is slow. And I know you're
slow.
Yeah, and I know your problem with slow films, but yeah, no, I still really like it. I do think it's a really good performance by him, like especially kind of at the beginning, like probably for the sort of first 10, 15 minutes. There's so little dialogue, but I think he conveys so much, like just with the acting. I think sort of small bits, like when the teacher arrives to the piano lesson and he's just like stood by the door and you sort of see him like almost sort of psyching himself up, but then like just before he sort of opens the door, he sort of, his shoulders slump, and you can kind of tell that like this isn't, whoever's at the door, you're kind of like, this is, he's not looking forward to seeing them. He doesn't know what it is. And then I think it's a really sort of good interplay between those two, because you kind of, why is she, like, what's she doing? Why is she there? And then teaching piano, and you're like, oh, that's a bit weird. And then like, and then you sort of find out that there's a reason why he's doing it, but he's doing it through obligation. And I think then that kind of rolls a bit into then how he is at work. And I think there's quite a lot of good shots where he's just reacting and sort of, in meetings, but you can see that he's not, his eye line isn't the same as everyone else's eye line. So you can just really get this sense of kind of detachment, and that, that he's that he's just not involved. He's just kind of going through it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that he definitely portrays that very well. That comes across. And I think for me, if the film had been more about that detachment and the, what you go through in life when something like that, like, a bereavement happens, and, how you cope with it, how you change your life, especially if it's been someone that you've been with for a long time. I think if it had really delved into that and leading along that would have been good. But then it just obviously takes on the whole. We've got these two new characters. You know, they're illegal immigrants, and it starts sort of going down that path and talking about illegal immigration, and so I think he just loses a bit about his journey, and then
really?
you're kind of like, that's kind of how I felt, and then I kind of thought, now it just feels like it's this old white guy trying to sort of, you know, solve the immigration problem in the US. And I was like, yeah, not really sure. I think we've tried that before. I'm not sure it's worked.
Old white guy in charge of the immigration system. No, but yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, I get that. I think for me, it's still about his character arc, because it's almost like he's involved in all of that. And like quite a few different people, including kind of the mum, kind of says, you know, this, you know, you don't have to do this. This isn't your fight almost. And yet he wants to be involved because he's got nothing else. Like, and that's kind of what he says. Yeah, that's kind of what he says on the date, isn't it? It's kind of like, I'm not busy. I've not got anything else on. And so, you know, I think it's for me, it really works. His character arc of just kind of like him kind of waking up and kind of realizing what his life was. But like at the same time, he's pretty powerless in the entire thing as well. And he almost, you know, he keeps saying, "Oh, well, it's fine. We'll get a lawyer and it'll be fine." And I think Zainab, his Tarek's girlfriend, like she sort of straight away is kind of like almost, this isn't going to work out. This isn't going to go well.
She can see it.
But he's just so oblivious. He's like, "Well, no, we'll get a lawyer. It'll be fine." And you know, I've gone down there and given a statement, so it'll be fine. I think that's works really well up until sort of Tarek in the thing where he's saying, "Oh, it's unfair," and then Walter's like, no, I know. I know, sort of, I know what you mean. And Tarek's like, you don't know. You're like, you're on the outside. And I think for me, it's more kind of about that of like, you know, it sort of shows that, again, even when he's trying to help, he's kind of in a bit of a bubble that it just doesn't, he just doesn't realize what the world is like for other people. And I think the fact that he sort of, his study is like international relations, and you know, that's kind of what he's doing at university.
It's
right?
Crazy.
Yeah.
It just says everything about the education system, doesn't it? It's like the person leading that knows nothing about it.
And that's the thing. Having studied international relations at university and graduated the year before 9/11, so have basically 9/11 happened, and my entire international relations knowledge was basically just ended because it changed. But then he's like, you know, I've been teaching the same thing for 20 years. And as we said, there were professors that, I think had been doing that when I was learning, almost because it's like, oh, you know, this is the way the world is. And 9/11 turned that upside down. And I do think that's sort of a good, that it describes that quite well of, you know, okay, well, before people didn't really care, but now they do. And that there is that difference, but like a lot of the world doesn't realize there's that difference because it doesn't affect them. So you know, the world just kind of keeps going.
I think for me, I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? And that's why I think they could have, like, I don't know, it feels a bit confusing about his character because they were trying to sort of show, I guess, how does his character develop? How does his arc change? How does he get out of where he's at? But then equally, like you said, it just felt like it's just like this old guy that's just had, like, his life's like been so easy. He's just got this job and he's loved it and he's found someone. And you're like, yeah, great. Okay, you're now going through one hardship now at whatever age you are. You're like, how can you be that oblivious to be thinking everyone else is in the same boat? And even like you're saying about the fact that he's saying, I'm teaching the same thing. Well, that's down to you. You've got the option to teach something else. You know, he's the lecturer and he's just chosen not to. And I think that was the thing that I thought they were going to try and change, like, do his character where they really as show how he just didn't, he was so narrow-minded, and then he was going to be open-minded, and he isn't. It just doesn't change.
But
And then the romance story with the mum, I'm just like, oh my God, why have you added this in? This is horrific.
Yeah.
Like that just that was not needed at all for me. I don't know how you felt about it, but
the romance thing. Well, it is. I'm not even sure that it's romance. Right? It's just, I think it's sort of, it's the situation. But that's almost why I do think it is a good character arc, and why I like this type of film rather than someone who suddenly like, they were really bad and racist, and now they're really good. Like that doesn't happen, right? That's not reality. This is way closer to what happens, which is you're going along in your life. It's kind of you see the character kind of being bored and like not engaged and stuff, and then something comes in that actually just makes them a bit more engaged and like opens up the world a little bit. And I think that's sort of, just starting to see the world from the other place. It doesn't revolutionize his life. He is still very protected, right? His life, he's still got 2 houses, he's still got money, he's still got position and wealth and stuff like that. And so that's kind of why I like it. Is it's almost not dramatic, and I do, and that's that. I do like films like that where it's just kind of a bit more real to life. And then the romance side, I think it's interesting. I don't know whether it's it's tacked on or like again,
it was definitely a bit weird, and it was like out of like all the people that there are in the world and all the people you could be. And it's like, oh, these two have just met, and it just so happens they both, get on really well. Wow, that's great fortune. And then, maybe that's just not real to life either. Like that wouldn't happen. Like there's no way that the next person that stumbles into your life is the next person that you start, not necessarily a relationship with, but have a bit of companion. It's just, that just didn't feel real. And I just didn't need it, right? Like I like the idea of him learning from the tenants and seeing their world and understanding things. Then obviously the drumming is sort of the connecting point for them as well. I like that, and I feel like the arc was going well, and it was he was learning, and then it just sort of feels like it sort of meanders a bit near the end. And when they're in the immigration center, and you're right, he's just sort of coming in talking to him just so he's got something to do rather than offering any kind of help. And then he's like talking to the mum, and he's just like basically like, yeah, great, we're gonna have a great time now. And you're just like, what has happened there? Where's his film gone?
But I think that's it. That is the thing. Like, he doesn't become. It's not like a superhero, or like he doesn't. It's not like he's transformed and all of a sudden he's this really dynamic guy and life is sort of so much better, right? It just it opens him up a little bit to a new experience, and he kind of takes that, and his life sort of changes just a little bit. And who knows what would have happened sort of 2, 3, 4 years in the future, but it's not like an immediate thing. And I feel like that's but for me that's why I like it,
realistic.
Because, that's the thing. It's just it is just like you open your life a little bit more and a little bit more. And
do you think we should have had a sequel to this film every year, where slowly he gets better and better, and we spend an hour and a half of our life every year watching this guy slowly get better at understanding that there are more than humans in the world than just him?
Well, The Visitor 2 did much better at the box office. So.
The Return. Wow. Was there anything that you noticed this time around versus previous watching it then? I mean, obviously it is very character based, but I
mean, I think not too much. As I say, I kind of had seen it fairly recently. It's interesting. I think I picked it up maybe the first time, but hadn't on the rewatch. But the mum actually says that she's Palestinian in the cafe rather than Syrian, which I think is just sort of an interesting thing. Obviously, maybe relevant now that you kind of I think that's just an interesting comment. I would say I recognize the tea scene with Muna, with the mum and Zanab. Having an aunt who's Lebanese I recognize the questioning and the all of the questions. I think it's quite funny when she's like, you were living there too? And you sort of see it's an from time to time,
and he practiced the drum in his pants, this is all it's all good, it's all good, nothing, no issues there at all.
I do think she's really good as well. I think she's really like,
I think she's a good actor. Yeah, definitely.
I think Guru. She does really well. Like, she has a lot of reaction shots as well. And obviously, I think this was her debut. And obviously, she's gone on and gone on for Black Panther and Walking Dead. She's done really well. But just her reaction to, like, to Walter saying, "Oh, I'll keep my pants on." She just looks at him, and it's just so funny. And even like when, they're first they're first leaving the apartment, you can see that, like, she's just like, this is your idea. And you you've got us into this job. Well, what are you doing? And even when Tarek comes back in, he's like, thanks, man. You've saved me a lot of trouble, if you know what I mean. And you're like, everyone knows what you mean. So I think, her performance is really, really good in it.
Yeah, she was good. Yeah, that was fun, actually. I recognized her from Black Panther. I forgot she's in Walking Dead as well. She was good. But
I think it's also it's funny and sort of quite poignant that he's having a go at the person in the detention center, like at the end when he's like, we're not children, blah blah, and it's almost like his big speech. But like, it's just some dude who works at the detention center. Like, he doesn't decide anything. Like, and that's kind of, I think, almost, sort of also real to life.
He's obliviousness.
Like, you're like, oh yeah, you people, and the guys are here like, I earn like $10 an hour. Like, what are you talking about?
It's not my fault.
This is a little bit above my pay grade. But again, it's just like, the people making the decisions, rightly or wrongly, are nowhere to be seen. And I think that also is, like, Walter isn't powerful in his own life or in other people's lives. Like, it's almost the opposite of the white savior films that you get. The themes that you get in films, because actually he can't do anything and he doesn't really know what's going on and he's not that helpful. He takes a couple of letters in and puts them up to the glass, and that's about the sum of his helpfulness, right?
I think that was, and I think that was a thing for me. It's sort of like he's supposed to, like, you're right, he's thinking he's doing stuff that's helpful and that's going to be useful, and obviously none of it is helpful or useful at all. But I don't know, like, in his mind, he just didn't. And I think that's what I thought they were going to do more, like just that. And I guess, like you said, maybe it's just they're just sort of dragging it out for all of the sequels. But and
the visitor universe
exactly
the real now go.
Oh my god, there we go. I mean, that would be an interesting place to be.
There'll be an action sequel with Tarek and Syria, and then he'll be coming back, and
but it didn't feel like they really got there were two things I think they really were trying to do, like you said, his character and his arc of where does he go and how does he fit in the world now that something challenging is happening to him, and then also the illegal immigration or illegal immigrants in the US, how are they treated, and how should humans should be treated in general in life, regardless of borders and things. And I just feel like it doesn't quite land. It didn't quite land either for me. I was like, it didn't, like, that. Obviously the illegal immigration is a very tricky topic to take on, and I was like, wow, okay, this is going to be interesting. And I just don't really feel like it really, like you said, you just kind of see scenes where the Walter just comes in and shows like letters, and then he gets annoyed, and you're like, we're not really seeing like the impact of what's actually really happening. It's just they're trying to take on the topic, and I just didn't think they really delved into it enough.
I'm not sure they're trying to take on the topic, to be honest with you. They're kind of like, there are people in the process, right? If you deport someone, that is a person, that is a life. They do have that, but also, like, I don't think they're, she says, I just ignored the letter, and so like she's in the wrong for that. She thought it was going to be okay. And I don't think like, and I think almost, you know, the fact that with his rant, it is to, you know, the detention center workers. It's not like, oh, you know, I happen to know this congressman who, like I went to a party and said, you know, which would have been almost the more Hollywood. So I don't think it's like completely damning of like immigration as and deportation as like a thing.
I don't.
It's kind of sort of saying, look, you know, you didn't have a problem with this before 9/11. Now you have a problem with it, and you know, as Zene actually says, doesn't she? Oh yeah, I was in one of those centers, and then they just, you know, they closed down the center and just let a bunch of the women go, like like it's sort of, I think it's more almost sort of saying, well, look, no one actually cares about this. It's not like it's a good system that's like really efficient or anything. Like it's just sort of something that happens. But almost, you know, there is a human price to it. But also, I don't think it's sort of some big thing that's like anti the deportations and stuff. It doesn't go into the framework of that. It's trying to keep the story smaller, which I think is why I like it and appreciate it. Is that it's a small story about a life, or, you know, a few lives. It's not trying to sort of talk about, you know, it's not trying to sort of solve immigration or solve these things. It's just kind of pointing out that this is a bit, you know, there is a human price and that this is a bit silly, but it's not like Hollywood of like, oh, you know, and then, you know, we're going to get a bill to Congress that's going to change this, and we're going to call it Tarek's law, and you know, that's
that obviously wasn't going to happen. I don't know. It just didn't sit right with me. I just didn't quite like. I thought like they sort of introduced it, and you're right. I mean, obviously the realization is you're not gonna, you know, if these characters suddenly say that, you know, change the law and everything, then you'd be like, well, this is a ridiculous film. How has this happened? But I don't know. I just feel like they sort of introduce it and they talk about, like, I like the fact that they were just talking of, like, you can see, you understand, clearly they have to leave. They're, you know, they're just squatting in the apartment and they have to leave. They've got nowhere else to go. You get an understanding. You know what their situation is, and then you see that, you know, he's obviously just drumming. You know, she's obviously selling her jewelry at the stall. And so you get in that view, and I'm getting that picture, and then they kind of just sort of like go, well, I don't know if you got all of this, so let me just throw this down your throat a little bit. Let me get, you know, we're going to put him in the detention center. And then you're like, right, okay. But then we're not really going to do anything else. He's just going to be here, and he's just going to be on the phone a couple of times. I was like, I don't know if it needed that. Like, either show how bad they can be and be like, God, yeah, these are the things that can happen. Or do you just don't do that and just show how difficult life can be, you know, when you're trying to make it in the US as an illegal immigrant? Like, I think that the detention center bit just sort of, I don't know, it just sort of lost it a bit for me.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think it's all from Walter's point of view, and that's the thing. Like the description of the center and tax, just like, you know, there's no privacy. It's not good. It's, you know, it's sort of the end. But for Walter, that's almost, in a way, that's his life anyway. And you know, that's I think it is sort of quite sanitized, because that's Walter's view of it, because he's not actually affected by it, and he's, you know, he is choosing to be there. And then I think it's just that, like, you know, the way that he gets picked up is just, you know, he doesn't do anything wrong. It's just he gets stuck because of the drum, and then because of that, like, you know, the cops come over is like the
always the drums, man. Always the drum. It's the dangerous life that the drummer leads, you know.
Just always on the edge.
Yeah, you have to be careful. So how did you describe this to the aliens then?
Well,
which I just remember, sorry, I'm just going to say as well, before you give your description, I'll just be re-listening and edited some of the recent episodes, and I've forgotten how you're almost having a little dialogue with the aliens. I feel like only one of us is going to get saved when they take over.
Well, I remember saying how important drumming is in the Whiplash episode. So I did wonder about saying, you know, this is how competitive drumming can be. If you're not, you know, if you're not good, then you get deported.
In a sense,
but actually, I kind of rolled into the aliens, and the questions
Well,
in
yeah.
it. I think it's how would you describe like immigration to an alien? I think it would just be almost sort of so foreign to, or like such a weird concept of like, there's only certain land you're allowed to live on. And I think by the time that there's an alien, I think our view on immigration might change a bit as well, because all of a sudden you'd be like, oh, well, but we're still human and they're not.
Yeah.
So, so
They'll be like, oh, we get this, we've got it, yeah. So we take over your country and we put you all into a cell and you do this anyway, so you'll be happy with it.
I don't think they're just going to take over one country.
No. Well, I don't know. I mean, judging by all the films, it's always the US.
They take out
the rest
US
of us will be fine.
So no, that was just kind of, that was almost more the question is, how would you describe immigration to an alien, of being like, you can only live on this piece of land? They'd be like, why? And you're like, oh, well, because, your parents grew up there. Be like, but like, why wouldn't you just go to some other land where there was like more stuff to eat? And you'd be like, that's a good point. I don't know.
It's a good idea. If only that would work.
What did you have before you're turned into a slave of the aliens because you're not describing it well enough?
I know. I feel I was thinking about this. I was thinking I need to start thinking about engaging with them more. If they might. This might be getting, we don't even know, this might be getting aired to them secretly. and they're finding out all about humanity from our podcast.
It's just one more listen on Spotify. It's just
we'll take it.
Location unknown. But that's about it.
Device, not sure. I just put an old man learns how to play the drums in 2 weeks. That was my nicest way to put it.
that is a very generous description for you, I think.
The first one again wasn't as nice.
I feel like it is water rubbing off on you a little bit, that you're trying to be nice when you don't need to.
No, 10 character was awful.
10 films ago, you would have just slated me non-stop. So.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I should have just given you both barrels. So, let me see if I can undo all this and find out what I wrote.
I'm starting to worry, because there's another one of these coming in the next few weeks that I think I'm going to really underplay. So.
Well, now you've just said about me unleashing, I'll make sure I'll go with the original version.
I think there's one film in particular that's coming up there. It will be interesting to see what you think. So aside from the obviously the Visitor universe and having multiple sequels, anything else that you would what's the one thing that you would change that you think would make it better, like genre?
Well, 100% I would change this to a thriller, and it would be like Pacific Heights. I don't know if you've seen that film. And I was like, that's what it would be like, and he'd be like the creepy guy, and everything else could still like exist, but they would just be worried that he's going to try and kill them all the time. That would have made it a little bit more interesting for me, and Walter's character would have been great. It'd have been like so much more interesting. What about you?
Well, I kind of remember something similar. The guy with the dog, Mr. Sprinkles, clearly he's a serial killer who kills people in the building and feeds them to Mr. Sprinkles. So,
poor old Mr. Sprinkles.
I was thinking, like, clearly he's there's definitely in the Visitor universe, there's a spin-off where we find out a bit more about him, because he was a strange.
I'm happy to watch that film. I'm even happy to watch a film about Mr. Sprinkles, but I will not be watching this again.
It's so much better on the third or fourth rewatch. So you should. How dedicated are you to the plot?
Oh my god, I definitely could watch this again. So obviously we kind of discussed that you weren't like Walter, but were there any other characters that you were like? Mr. Sprinkles. Mr. Sprinkles,
No, I think it's interesting, like, because I think it's really well done for me, like between Walter and Tarek sort of being almost sort of opposite ends of the scale of kind of, just going with what life throws at you, and kind of, just enjoying what's in front of you. So I'd hope that I was like 3/4 towards Tarek. I don't think I'm quite there.
Yeah.
But
This is good. This could be a new scale at the end of every podcast. What's your water scale for the week? How much water have you been? And we'll both have to be like, we need to move away. We're becoming too water.
If at any point we're just sat here being like, oh, another podcast we have to do. Then we know that we're too water.
We've become too water. Yeah.
How about you? Was there anyone?
I put the drum.
Nice. You just felt like you'd been. Was the sound of drumming better in this one than in Whiplash? Because I know that you realised that you had a problem with the sound of a drum.
I think that the thing is, I don't want like all drummers to be chase me down the street. I don't mind the drums. I think with Whiplash, it was the fact that it was just the drums for such a long period of time, and I was like, I just don't think that's a noise that I want to hear for an elongated period of time. But you are right. This drum is a much nicer drum sound. So this was much more enjoyable. Hence why I decided that was the best character of the film. So.
Which drum? I mean, there's two of them, obviously. So,
well, you'll have to wait for the visitor universe to find out which one that is.
Battle of the drums. That would be.
Yeah. Which one comes out on top? So, did you have any good lines? Any favorite lines that you enjoyed?
Yeah, I mean, not many lines at all. I do think with the piano teacher, where it's like, so I'm not going to continue with our lessons, and she's like, "Oh, are you giving up?" It's like, no.
Yeah.
No, it's just so cold. Just stopping with you. I do. Yeah, it's a good line when she's again. She's got the person at the a jewelry stall, and she's like, "Oh, where are you from?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah, Senegal." And she's like, "Oh, brilliant! Yeah, I was in Cape Town a couple of years ago." And you're just like, those two things are not the same. So that was good. And then I did also like when Walter's asking Tarek, and he says, "Oh, what does Al Habib mean?" And he says, "Oh, beloved." And he's like, "Does she know that?" Because she's still like really cross with him. Because I thought that was like funny. Well, that's on to the reviews. So funnily enough, in my prediction of this film, I actually mentioned 3-star reviews because I wondered whether you had written it. Because the first 3-star review is, it was quite poignant, and some people like these sorts of films. It has, however, a little slow for my taste. I really want to be entertained when I watch a film. Was that you?
Yeah.
Was that?
I mean, it does.
Time traveling back to 2017.
Yeah,
for that.
It's a different version. That's in the Kev universe. That's another Kev that's trying to help me out, saying don't watch this film. He'd already watched it and invented time travel because it was so bad. To come and try and warn me not to watch it. That sounds like a great 3-star review. I might get that one printed and put up on my wall.
Yeah, I did that when I read that. I was like, I think this is how Kevin's going to feel about this film. This film is excellent due to the characters involved, but the lack of subtitles is astonishing.
What?
Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah, I mean,
I presume they weren't English wasn't their language,
or maybe like when they're arguing, when Walter first comes back, when Zanab and Tarek are arguing, and you don't know what they're saying. I don't know, but like to lose, I mean, excellent. So to lose 2 stars on that,
2 stars,
it's tough.
Well, I like it. Good.
And then
get rid of these stars.
Obviously, there's someone who thinks that the immigration story is more powerful or more than it needs to be. So though not offensive or disagreeable, the film's position on illegal immigration is unacceptable. There is a reason we protect our borders, even from charming Syrian drummers.
Wow.
We're just like, wow, I'm actually impressed that you gave it 3 stars, because if this immigration story upset you, then some films you should definitely.
I'm like, it barely touches anything about immigration. It like just like we've discussed, it just sort of grazes the topic of it. Barely challenges it at all.
Yeah. And then
random.
last one, I haven't had a chance to watch the movie, so don't have a review at this time. 3 stars.
Oh yeah. I'm going to start reviewing on Amazon, because don't people just get sent free stuff? I'm going to just start going, parcels arrived yet, 3 stars. Or parcels arrived, not opened yet, 3 stars. It's just like, what's going on?
The algorithm doesn't pick up how good the review is. Well, there is, it's one of those things with a 5-star rating. 3 stars can mean I don't know. We've is it in the middle, or is it or is it just I don't know?
Yeah,
but obviously just don't do a review if you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do a review. But like, in the time you're sitting here building this review, you could have watched at least 10 minutes of the film. So like, just do that instead. You're right. It's people beating the algorithm, which very topical, as we're about to come on to.
Yeah. What film did you have for the algo to
I really struggled with this one, because I haven't really seen any other films that were like this at all.
I've never seen any other film this bad.
This bad. I was trying to think, because obviously I thought, for me, I know they were trying with Walter's character, but for me, it felt like they were trying to do the immigration story. That was kind of the thing that sort of came true for me. So I was thinking other films that were trying to take on big topics, and I happened to be watching American Fiction recently, and I thought, maybe that one could be close, because again, it's taken on the a big topic as well, but. I struggled. That was as close as I got, and that's not close. So it'll be down one for me. What did you get?
Well, so Letterboxd had A Man Called Otto, which is your mate Tom's. You've seen that.
I have seen that, actually.
Oh, really?
Funnily enough, well, we'll cover this off when we do the Tom episode, and it might be a few hours long. But there's a potential resurgence in my Tomometer as he's in the latter stages. So
he's winning you round. Interesting.
He might be coming back, but we'll see.
The original film is much better.
Than, you said,
than that one. And then 25th Hour, Green Book, and Fruitvale Station. Now that's 25th Hour is Edward Norton. He's supposed to go to prison, and basically doesn't. He just leaves, and it's like his last night in New York. Tonally quite similar. Green Book, which I do not think is a good film at all.
Well, this sounds perfect. Tell me more.
But
this sounds ideal compared to this one.
Very little happens in that, and but it's kind of, well, no, it's not really. It's a bit of a white savior thing. And then Fruitvale Station, which is an amazing film. That I just watched the first time this year, which is such a heartbreaking and amazing film.
How many Andys is that film?
Fruitvale Station. Fairly
4 to 5. How many Andys would you say this film is?
I would probably say this is 5. I can understand why people don't like this. This is, but I really like it.
And it's not a reflection of you. That doesn't mean people don't like Andy.
there's a reason why there's Andy films, and they're avoiding. It's funny even now with the 50 films that me and my brother go through each year. And his girlfriend, he'll say, "Oh, should we watch a film?" And apparently his girlfriend now says, "Oh, is it one from your brother?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "No, it's all right. I'll go and do something else."
I'll go and watch this paint dry.
The funny thing about that is that I've selected. It's not even films that I like. It's just like films from lists that are supposed to be good, and yet I've still got this reputation somehow. I'm like, I didn't select these.
You've got a natural Andy bias. I mean, you can't help it, but you just pick bad films.
I don't even see it. I just pick the Andy film in the top 250 sight and sound films ever.
They just come out to you on the paper.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, this one looks good. That may be true. So I don't know.
I think this is a tough one. This might have to be a draw for the algo because I think it's hard. Is there anything else really like this film?
Yeah. And the thing is, those films are very, very different from each other. Like A Man Called Otto, tonally, it's the same with American Fiction. I would say, like, tonally, it's just American Fiction is a comedy.
Very different tone.
So like, this is probably closest to 25th Hour, which shout out for the line, champagne for my real friends and real pain for my sham friends, which is
nice.
just a great line. So maybe
I feel like I don't need to watch that film now. That's the best bit. Done.
Pretty much. Another amazing Philip Seymour Hoffman performance as well, but we won't go on with you another film. Well, that was quite close to getting into the top 100. So we're gonna call that a draw. I think no one gets either of the points. So we're gonna stay at 15-12 to the humans. So
onwards and upwards. So it's on the list. It's, I don't know, where is it? It should be at like 150, but or like 1050. It's at 72. Is it going to move up? Is it going to move down? What is happening with this gem of a film?
Yeah, I think I still like it. I get it. It's slow, and I think on this watch, maybe it's also on this watch, knowing that you were going to watch it, I was like, this is a bit slow. Kevin's not. I mean, Empire of the Sun, I'm still amazed that you didn't like, because I did think that you would like that. This one, I was like, Kevin's not gonna like this film.
So I thought I would like Empire of the Sun as well. It had all the hallmarks of a film that I should like. But this is the beauty of the pod. Who knows what's going to happen next?
You should just go back and rewatch it. Maybe around 40 after an Andy film. I think if you watched it after this film, I should have switched them the other way around. You would have been like, "Well, Empire of the Sun's a lot better than The Visitor."
Maybe.
But actually, I'm still going to keep The Visitor. Above Empire of the Sun, but I'm gonna shift it back to the next open slot, which is 78. So
I feel like there's a lot that are going down the list. Like, there feels like there's going to be a big opening.
No, because I've moved like 4 or 5 up the list, so now it's just that they're in their natural positions. I mean, we've spoken about this off air because we don't want to lose.
We can't do the meta.
But
it's too meta.
That's the thing. Like, actually, this has to go down because there's other things that are up. So this wouldn't actually be at 72 in the
don't do it.
Expanded,
you're already blowing my mind.
In the expanded Visitor universe, this is slightly different. So I'm it's just falling down to where it would sit. So 78. Which is just still one above Empire of the Sun. I like this film. It's an Andy film, but I like it.
It's definitely an Andy film. This, groundbreaking for me. This is coming in at number 29 of 29.
Wow!
We have a new bottom winner. I think
all of a sudden, once seems like a gem.
I mean, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I was really, this is probably the thing that I spend the most on and the most of the time on, including watching the film, was, is this worse than Once? That was my which would I, if I had to watch one of them again, like A Clockwork Orange style, which one would I prefer to watch? And so, it's come in, it's at the bottom of the pack for me.
Wow. I can understand that, though. Even I can understand that even more than Once, to be honest with you, because Once, again, more people like Once. But don't let Kev bias you, listeners. Watch the film. Let us know.
Don't watch it.
Let us know what you think. We're looking for engagement here, Kev. You've got to encourage. Tell us, what do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Kev? Do you have your own opinions? Always feel free to let us know on Instagram at longplay.video. You see what I've done.
Yeah.
See what I've done there.
I like that.
You can go onto the website longplay.video to see all of the lists and start to work out how meta it gets. Talking of meta, for next week, meta on steroids. The great quote for next week: "You're getting laughs, but it's not making your teeth look any better."
Oh,
So yeah, we'll wait and see. Not an Andy movie next week. It's I gave you
Great
a
news.
break in between them. So thanks to Tom Evans as ever for the theme song, and we'll see you in the shop next week.